The Batman. In some ways, he's the most relatable hero. He's human, powerless among the superpowered, but never unprepared. Across all variations of good Batman exists one rule: no killing, because it is a core belief that killing, no matter who and the crime, should never be an option. By extension, his refusal to use guns as a means to put down criminals emphasizes his core values. In some ways, gun would make things easier. So, what if Batman gave up on these rules? Would he still be Batman? Or something worse? The dark metal crossovers have introduced us to dark variations of Batman from across the dark multiverse. Batman fused with Doomsday, Batman empowered by the Speed Force, and the most well-known of these evil Batman, the Batman who laughs. A twisted version of Batman infected by Joker toxin to the degree where he has the most vicious qualities of Batman mixed together with the lunacy and disregard for others that the Joker has. In a lot of these stories, it's often he who guides other dark Batman under his leadership in the pursuit of his goals. In the Batman Who Laughs miniseries, we are introduced to another of these dark Batman. This one calls himself the Grim Knight, a Batman who kills, and kills with guns, taking down his enemies with no remorse, no mercy, in an effort to clean up Gotham City of crime by whatever means necessary. This is the Batman that many comic fans compare to the Punisher from Marvel Comics, one for the obvious use of deadly force, but also for the motivation. This Batman doesn't want to destroy the world, but rather prevent another child from losing their parents to the mindless criminals that infest Gotham City. But unlike the Punisher, this Batman can't stop himself, now that he's allowed himself to use deadly force. The Grim Knight's origins are much like all other Batman. Stop me if you heard this before. A shortcut through a dark alley after a late movie. A wealthy family of 3 encounter a robber. The robber points a gun at the 2 adults as their child watches in terror. The father tries to de-escalate the situation. Both parents are shot dead. The child is left there. But this time, he sees the gun on the floor, points it at the killer, and shoots him dead to rights. Unlike other Bruce Waynes in the multiverse, this one was able to avenge his parents' death, but like other Batman, he took it upon himself to fight crime so that other children do not suffer the same fate he did. Years of training for martial artists, assassins, and soldiers, all leading him to take his fight to Gotham. This Bruce Wayne, much like his counterparts, decided he needed to become something more, a symbol that could inspire fear in the criminals of Gotham, and he went with the bat, becoming the Batman. In this world, the Batman has no remorse for the criminals, asserting that the only way to stop crimes from happening is by killing and ensuring that they won't commit crimes again. Victims like the Penguin, Black Mask, and Killer Croc. One of these other criminals who were killed was a man in a Red Hood mask, killed during an encounter at Ace Chemical Factory. What we learn about this Batman that sets him apart from all the others aside from the killing and guns is that he's never faced many of these supervillains. One of the Joker's origin story has him falling into a vat of chemicals during an encounter with Batman while wearing the Red Hood mask. In this world, the Joker never came to be, due to Batman killing him before he could even turn into the Joker. Part of what makes the Batman we all know and love is the experiences and hardship he's faced, the heavy decisions he's had to make in the most difficult of situations. He, in a way, had things easy. Things have been almost handed to him as a crime fighter in a way because killing is as easy to him as it would be for someone to wash their hands. It's natural. We left off with the Grim Knight taking to the streets of Gotham, killing criminals in an effort to stop and prevent criminal activity. If you're dead, you can't commit more crimes, and those serving under you would probably fear for their life and stop their life of crime. I can see that, and I can see that being something that would deter criminals, especially through the use of fear. Well, ultimately, that's not the right thing to do. In instances where Batman has had a gun in his hand, or his action led to the death of someone else, he folds into himself in deep regret. In the Batman Beyond animated series show, Bruce Wayne had to use a gun to scare off a criminal as he was getting too old, and his body failed him. He chose to quit being Batman altogether as he felt that he could not stop criminals with his morals and values intact. Then he may as well stop altogether. The Grim Knight, however, never had this conscience in him. This question of what's right or what's wrong is simply a means to an end. This is why in this universe, his greatest enemy is Jim Gordon. Gordon, like every other universe, is determined to do right and let the system handle the fates of these criminals, and will not stand for someone like the Grim Knight, who in a sense had decided to become judge, jury, and executioner. Despite some people in the GCPD agreeing with the Grim Knight's methods, Gordon focuses on finding him and stopping him. Eventually, Gordon manages to find out his identity and collect enough evidence to arrest him with the help of the FBI. In his mind, the Grim Knight thinks of those who will die without his help, and this drives him to the Batman Who Laughs, who uses him in a plot to take down Gotham, and in exchange he would be able to exact revenge against Jim Gordon of Prime Earth. Eventually he meets his end at the hand of Jim Gordon's son, a murderer himself who is attempting to reform his life and his relationship with his father. Unlike some of the other Dark Knights that I read up on, the Grim Knight is more grounded and more focused on the world of Gotham, rather than using the powers of other members of the League or villains. His desire to clean up the criminal underground is in many ways similar to how the Punisher in the Marvel comics acts, but with a classic Batman twist. It kinda sucks that they killed him, as I could see him as a reoccurring foe for Jim Gordon and the GCPD comics that they run every few years, or in other books. That's the unfortunate part with some of these Batman variants. It seems DC is hellbent on killing every one of them except for the Batman Who Laughs, not seeing that some of these variants would make for great villains in other Batman books and other heroes as well. What do you guys think of the Grim Knight? Should he be a reoccurring character or a one-off like in this series? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to see more about some of the other Dark Knights, check this video out right here. But for now, take care and have an awesome day.
It's time to go, but let's keep in touch.
Sure, my handle online is Oracle. Oh, I see you. Bow staffs are cool.